Jackson started out as a normal, quote unquote, normal, healthy, happy baby, and developing normally. We were always concerned about vaccinations because of, what was said in the press and the different celebrities coming out and talking about it. So we were always concerned, but we didn't know anything really. And so we thought we went on the slow track and, spaced them out and everything. And I can remember taking him in for his well baby visits and the doctor wanting to give him, 8, sometimes I think there was even one time there was 10 vaccinations in one visit. And we spaced them out. We never got more than I think 3 or 4 at one time. And after his visits, he would always have, huge knots on his legs the size of softballs, and he would be fussy and miserable, and the hardness in his thighs where they gave him the shots would last for days. And I would contact the pediatrician and he would just say, that's normal. And so, we just kept taking him in like scheduled, and we thought we were doing the right thing. We were wanting to protect him, So, so like I said, he was developing normally and everything was fine. As far as, we didn't notice anything off. Until his vaccinations, at about, I think it was 13 or 14 months old, we took him in and they gave him the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccination along with a flu shot. And I thought initially I had rejected the flu shot, but I just got a second copy of his vaccinations, and he actually did get the flu shot that day. So after the MMR vaccine and the flu shot, we took him home, and he was, fussy and feverish and everything like he's always been. And that was kind of the last vaccination that he had before we really started to notice a difference. Before that vaccination, he was smiling, making eye contact, laughing, just a happy baby. And then after that, he stopped wanting to eat the things that he always ate. He got down to only wanting 2 foods, Greek yogurt and bread. And before, he was eating an array of things. He would eat, avocado slices and watermelon and, bits and pieces of grilled chicken. I mean, he had a huge diet, a diverse diet. So he started to just stop eating, and he stopped all progression when it came to talking and social development and things like that. He became super hyper focused on learning videos and things like that, like ABCs and colors and counting and all that kind of stuff. But as far as socially, he just stopped developing. He was like a perpetual 15-month-old or 18-month-old. And, we, at around 2 years old, we took him back to his pediatrician and we said, something's not right. He's not talking. What could be wrong? Is there something wrong? And his pediatrician just said, no, boys are slower than girls, and he'll catch up. And honestly, we were relieved, because I think in the back of our mind we knew something was really not right, but we didn't want to admit it to ourselves. And so we were really happy at the time, because we just, we wanted to believe that pediatrician so bad. But at around 2.5, and he still wasn't talking very much, and we could ask him a question and he would just repeat back our question. There was no back and forth communication. There was no original thought. It was just simply repeating back what he had heard before. So, we by the time 2.5 rolled around, we knew something wasn't right. And so we decided, okay, we'll put him in school. You know, maybe he's just lacking social interaction. Maybe he gets around other children, you know, it'll all fall into place. And so right before he turned 3, we put him into school, quote unquote school, right? It's like preschool playtime, you know. And it was glaringly obvious that something was not right. We would bring him into school. We had to follow a specific routine bringing him in, and we could not vary from that routine at all, or it would just be unbearable for him. We would bring him in, and he would stay in the classroom curled up on the little beanbag chair with his blanket for sometimes an hour, hour and a half, and until the school would call us and we'd have to come pick him up. And you know, he would freak out if he got a little bit of wet, or his hands got a little sticky, or you know, the sun was too bright. I mean, it was just, we became hermits. We couldn't go out in public because, you know, taking him to a restaurant or taking him to a crowded place was just too much for him. He couldn't handle it. One of the worst days that I can remember is he was, you know, a little older than 2, and we got him baptized, and it was so awful. You know, he was just so out of control. He was so upset that the restaurant that we had all these people at, and it was like 20-some people, asked us to leave. And my husband and I just cried on all the way home. It was awful. And so, you know, we slowly became hermits, and it's very isolating. So we kept him in school to try to keep the routine. You know, we didn't want to change things up too quickly because that would incite, you know, just days of meltdowns and, you know, fasting where he just wouldn't eat. And so we kept the routine and we just went with it. His teacher was very accommodating and, you know, understood his what he needed, and, you know, made special accommodations for him. So we were really thankful for that. So Jackson's now 4, and we've made some headway. I mean, we've got him in therapies multiple times a week. We've changed his diet, you know, to try to help his leaky gut. And I mean, we know now that he's more susceptible to toxins, whether it be injected or environmental or food. We're super aware of that now. And, you know, we just have to take one day at a time. And I don't want this to happen to any other parent. I don't want them to go through the pain and the heartache that we've gone through and that Jackson has gone through. He is an amazing child and has so much potential. And I feel like, you know, had we not subjected him to these vaccinations that are filled with mercury and aluminum and formaldehyde, all of which are common in most vaccines, that he would have been much better off. Hopefully this video will help others, you know, avoid these mistakes, and hopefully legislation will be passed to make vaccines safe for all children, not just those who can handle it.